Hey guys, Coach Julia Gurman here. Today's video is all about the hip bridge, and I'm going to differentiate between a hip bridge you may do in a workout or training session and bridge pose or Setu Bandhasana in a yoga class. Because while there's some similarities, there's also some important differences. I'm going to highlight those for you today. So first and foremost, both of these take place on your back. So you're going to slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Knees are bent, feet are flat. Feet and legs are about hip distance apart, arms by your side. Now the distance you set your heels from your hips, I'm going to leave that up to you. You might be more comfortable with them a little further out or a little closer in. Again, up to you. Oftentimes I do hear it cued in a yoga class to walk your heels in towards your hips, nice and tight, or reach down with your hands and see if you can touch your heels. It's great to give that guidance to help somebody out, but also know, those of you watching, that if it doesn't feel like the best position in your body for whatever reason, please adjust. So from here, the breathing will be the same, whether it's hip bridge in a workout or a training session or a yoga class. Inhale, exhale, press into the ground, lift your hips up. Come back down, inhale, exhale, press up, lift. So you're exhaling with the effort, which is the hip extension here. And in a workout or training session, hip bridge or hip lifts are programmed for that reason, to train hip extension, to work to strengthen hamstrings and glutes. At least that's the reason I choose to program that. Not so much about the back bend, which if you're doing bridge pose in a yoga class and invite it into a fuller expression of this pose, then you're going to get more of a back bend, and I'm going to get back to that in just a moment. So once again here, looking for hip extension, about a straight line from knees to hips to shoulders. Not everybody is going to have access to that, especially out of the gates, and that's okay. I'll work with the client, meet them where they're at, we work within the range that they have, and over time, they'll make progress. So in bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana in a yoga class, again, it can look just like this. And you may find you sustain it for time versus in a workout. Most times you probably experience it as active reps, moving up and down. In a yoga class, a lot of times you're sustaining a pose. You want to arrive in it and stay in it for a bit so you can really experience the energetics of the pose. As I mentioned a moment ago, in bridge pose, it is more about back extension as well. Part of the purpose of doing bridge pose, if you have access to this range, is to create a bit of a back bend. Okay? So you'll notice it's subtle, but if I just do full hip extension, I'm resting on the tops of my shoulders, okay, and my shoulder blades. If I come up a little bit higher, there's a little bit more bend, a little bit more arch, and I'm resting on the top of my shoulders more. You may be invited then to even create a bigger back bend or a bigger expression here. Take one shoulder blade, tuck it underneath you than the other, and notice how that creates more back bend in my body. It also lifts and spreads my heart or my chest. So it's a heart opener. And it's an inversion because my head is below my heart. So you're getting the benefits of all three of those in addition to the original hip extension and strengthening the hamstrings and glutes. Okay? Benefits of a back bend, benefits of inversion, and a heart opener. And also then the energetics of the pose. And you could even here keep walking one shoulder blade underneath you than the other, and then take the bind. And then you're resting on your arms too, so bigger heart opener, bigger back bend. If you do take the bind, release the bind first, untuck one shoulder blade to the other, then slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time, okay, and land. Let this pose land in your body. Feel the effects of it before you take a counter pose or move. Just breathe for a moment, okay? So I hope that this video helps to clarify some of the differences between doing a bridge, hip extension, or hip lifts in a workout and training session, the why, the purpose behind it, and then the additional why or purpose behind offering a bigger range of expression in a yoga class, in the actual bridge pose. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear from you. If you liked this video or got something out of it, please give me a thumbs up or a heart. Your feedback in that way, it does help and it means a lot. And if you feel like anyone could benefit from seeing this video, please feel free to share it with them. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you again soon.